Ram and welcome back to the second episode of Chai with SAI. I would really like to thank each and every one of you for the overwhelming response and love showered upon the first episode. Today, we have two amazing speakers here with us. A person who always loved pets but wasn't allowed to keep any at home. From having none at home to going out and helping so many more. Another person who instantly fell in love with two cute puppies while she was waiting outside her tuition. Let's welcome Brother Harendra and Sister Yahnusha. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
So, Brother Harendra, you're a volunteer and a photographer at Potterian. Can you tell me more about that?
So Bhavadharni is basically a non-profit organization where we have a adoption center in Botanic. So what we do is we rescue puppies and we usually keep them for a certain period of time until they are healthy. We take them to the vet and until they are in a suitable position to go for adoption. So then what we do, every Sunday, we have adoption drive from 11 to 2 at Kota Kemuning, right? So then we will promote it in social media and people can come and adopt their puppies there.
Wonderful. Sister Yahnusha, you're a founder and the admin of Pooch and Fluff. What is that about?
Okay, so Pooch and Fluff is an Instagram account. So we usually rescue puppies if there's any need. Normally we foster them and also put them for adoption. That's all.
Wonderful. Okay, before we start, I would really love to start with a story related to Swami. We all know Swami has 2 dogs, right? But many don't know the story behind that. Even I didn't until a few hours ago. Swami had 2 dear friends before he declared himself the avatar, Ramesh and Suresh. Once Swami declared himself the avatar and left home, both of them couldn't bear the separation and eventually passed away. And then, many years later, 2 puppies were born in Parthi, Jack and Jill. They were so close to Swami as one would sleep near Swami's head and another would sleep near Swami's legs. One day, Mysore princess wanted to visit Parthi. And those days roads weren't that good. So Swami sent Jack to escort them to Parthi. And it was a heavy rainfall. So the driver and the princess stayed overnight in the car, and Jack, who went to escort them, slept under the car. Morning came, the driver took off, and when the driver did so, he ran over Jack. Jack, with that pain, dragged himself across Chitravati river and went to Prashanti. On the way, a person saw Jack and ran to Swami and said, "Swami, Jack is hurt and he's coming." Swami ran to Jack and sat right in front of him. Jack peacefully passed away with Swami in his eyes. Swami then asked the people of Parthi to bury Jack very close to him. And after the burial was successfully over, Swami said, "Another is coming." It didn't make sense to people then. And then, few days later, Jill passed away. Unable to bear the separation, Jill didn't eat, didn't sleep, and was very, very sad and eventually passed away. So, I think there is no better story to explain and express the love of dogs, not only dogs, but any stray animals. So, with this, let me introduce the topic, showing love to Swami through animals. Let us start with a game, okay? So, Brother Harendra, tell me 3 animals that come right into your mind.
Dog, cat, giraffe.
Okay. Sister Yahnusha?
Camel, pigeon, giraffe.
Okay. So, the first animal represents what you think of yourself. For dog, you said dog, right?
Yeah.
So, loyal and friendly. Kangaroo, I think, is a wonderful mother, right? Kangaroos are wonderful mothers. And the second one is what others think of you.
Wow.
Okay. And the third one is what you really are.
Giraffe.
Tall and slow and steady. Right? Yours was?
Giraffe also.
Giraffe. Okay. So I think this was a fun game. I don't know how accurate this is, but I love this kind of games. Okay. Let's kickstart with the first question. One lesson a stray has taught you. Brother Harendra.
Okay, so I wouldn't really say, okay, it's more like a teaching recently I experienced. So I used to be that person when I was young, before I joined the sport area and everything. I used to be that person. I was like, oh, I also want to have like Rottweiler or Poodle or Silky Terrier. I only want to breed dogs like that. But then when I joined this organization, then you realize, right, at the end of the day, whether they got breed or no breed or stray dogs and all, they are all living beings only. So why are we like choosing who to give love more to, Like they don't look at us as humans and think, oh, this guy got darker skin, I treat him differently. This guy got lighter skin, I treat him differently. It's not like that. So why are we looking? Because now we're doing this adoption drive. People are coming and they like got like some kind of specification they want in their dogs today. They want, oh, I want the tail to be short. I don't want it to grow that much. I want this color. Black color, I don't want female. So many things will come. So I feel that mindset, right, should really start changing in everyone, because why, if you can give a life to a breed dog, why you cannot give to a normal stray dog? So
Very
yeah.
true.
So yeah.
Sister Yahnusha?
So the lesson that I learned, I would say that we should never give up. So the reason is there's one puppy that I rescued. His name is Misu. So his leg, he had maggot, which turned into cancer. He never ever showed that he wants to give up in his life. So normally when I was a kid, I always will give up for every single small things. So when I see him, I look at myself and I always tell to myself that I should never give up in my life. That's the lesson that I learned.
Wonderful. A lesson that I learned, not from a stray dog, but my dog, is that dogs do naughty things, right? Every dogs do that. So when you scold him or anything, I mean, he's sad and he's scared for a while, but the love never reduces. It's always there. Like, even when he's sick, he wants to be with us. He just gets up with all the energy he has and comes and sit beside us. So I think that is one thing I learned, the unconditional love, they would say, right?
Nice.
Yeah. So moving on to the next question. Do you get support from social media? Because things go viral very fast, but the amount of support that comes after it is quite unknown. So what do you think, Sister Yahnusha?
Yeah, I definitely get a lot of support from social media, especially Facebook and also my account Pooch and Flip, right? And it's very easy for me to get funds from them. They always contact me. Even if I don't post, they'll contact me. They'll say, hi, I've already transferred you 50 ringgit, 100 ringgit sometimes. Even like students, they transfer me 20 ringgit or 5 ringgit. So I use them. It's always for rescues or to get vaccination for these puppies or to feed the strays.
With this, we can say no amount of donation is too little to save dogs, right? Yes. And Harendra?
I feel, yes, social media is like the biggest platform where you can use to do the marketing, the raise awareness and all that. So like, usually during our adoption drives, you will have like TikTok live stream, Instagram live stream going on at once, which can easily, gain a lot of followers, and you can see the comments people are saying, all right, I'm coming now. So, and then we also like, we can create posts of sharing awareness about like pet care, a bunch of things like that, and it really helps also to, like Sister Yahnusha said, gain donation, and we can give more puppies out for adoption. It helps a lot.
So sharing this around doesn't go to waste, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you help scared dogs? Because there was this one incident, a dog was outside of my house. She was very scared and she was hurt very badly. The wound looked like it was sprayed with boiling water. So she was very, very scared. We tried to feed her, and I think we tried everything possible. She was very scared, but we didn't know the right way to do anything. and we were at home deciding on to call her Sai or Snow. And the next time we went out, she was not there. So I think she ran away because she was too scared. So I think if people know how to help scared dogs, like if I knew, I think it would have been beneficial for that particular Sai or Snow, whichever that is. Yeah. So how do you think, Brother Harendra?
I feel the most important is first you have to know that the pet is scared. Like you have to understand the pet first. It's of course a long process, but understand first, and then you slowly understand what is making them scared. So I feel the main thing one can do is give them their own time first, because different pets got different things they are scared about. So maybe some pets they just want to be alone for a while, so you give them their space, let them be alone. Or some pets maybe they don't like people to pet them, so if anyone come nearby, don't allow them to touch and all that. So it's like a long process, but you have to give them the time to gain their trust in you first. So then from there on you can get more and more closer. So yeah.
Sister Yahnusha?
Okay, that's one of it. Normally, whenever I go for rescue puppies, I'll bring these three things. One cloth, it can be anything. One more, leash, that rope.
Okay.
Okay, and then the other one is food, wet food. It can be aggressive dog, it can be scared dog, it can be any dog. It's gonna become if you give them food. Second thing, close their eyes with cloth, that cloth. Third thing, leash them, carry them properly, put it in the car. But before that, you have to make them comfortable first, like what Harendra said.
I think this is very important for people to know, because there is this one video I came across. This woman, she was trying to help a dog with good intention, but the dog was too scared that it was screaming. I think we've heard dogs screaming, right? Not barking, but screaming. She directly went to the dog, picked it up and brought it to the car. And the dog died in the car of heart attack because it was too scared. So I think it was a good intention, but it actually killed the life. So I think this is very, very important for people to know. And what do you think is important to know before we own a pet? Sister Yahnusha?
Their health condition, if possible, their parents' history, health condition, that is very important. And the next thing, you have to bring them for vaccination. That is very important. As Harendra knows about this, parvo virus.
Yeah.
Right now it's very famous. It's everywhere, strays, or it can be house. So this thing, it happens because of poop.
Sorry?
Poop. Yeah. So that's the reason.
Okay. Brother Harendra?
Yeah, so mine is something similar also. So the first thing, the most important one is the financial situation of your household. Because having a pet, right, it's not easy. So many people, they want, but then they are not in the position to take care of it. You need to buy the food, not cheap. Wet prices, the vaccination, some of them just adopt and then they don't know what they have to do, this vaccination, all these things, So know that you are financially ready first, okay? Because of you don't want to burden the pet, right? Just because of you, right? So that's one thing. Second thing is know your household condition. Are you like ready to have a pet or not? Okay, are there people that is free to take care of the pet or not? Because they also need the love and attention, So you adopt and then you just leave them alone. It will have side effects for them also. So yeah, that's the main two things I feel: financial situation, and another one is know whether you are ready or not. Okay, if you only have a bunch of young people in the house going to school and all that, if you don't have the time, then I feel better wait for the right time.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
Okay. And also you have to check if you have allergies to dog and cats fur. That's very important because they're gonna be with you forever, right? You can't leave them alone. So that's very important. And also every time save some money for that dog. Anything can happen, accident, health issues. So it will help you one day to bring them to clinic when you need money.
This thought of mine, I think you should never release your emotions on your pets or strays. Because I've seen these videos of people, they will be screaming at their children and then they hit the dog.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, the dog doesn't do anything, but it's just your emotion being released in a wrong way. And also, people drag their dogs with their car. I've seen that a lot. It became viral at a point of time. I think watching videos like this may be something we scroll about, but it should give us an impact that dogs, not only dogs, any kind of strays are just suffering with so many things, while we buy specific breeds of pets just to keep them in our house with acorns and blankets, while the others outside don't even have their fur, right? Moving on. Brother Harendra, what is one dog incident you will never forget?
Okay, so the one dog incident I would say, okay, so this was, I think, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, 2 years ago, I think. And so there was one volunteer, Danutraka, right? So she called me, and then she said someone called her, saying that there was a dog that just met in an accident. So she was like, shall we just go and like bury the dog and all this? I was like, okay, I'm down. Then so we went, and at that point it was, I think, already a few hours since the dog met in the accident, and the body was at the side of the road, bloated and all that. And so I remember we tried to dig there itself, but couldn't, because it was a bunch of, like, I think it was too hard, that place. So then we had to put in the car, and then we had to go find another place, but that also cannot, because there was like bunch of stones. And then we had to go pushing some places. Finally we found a place where we could actually bury the dog, and we ended up putting a rose on top of it. So it's that was one experience which I couldn't forget also. And another thing I want to share is there was once also, so I was going for the adoption drives every week, right? Then there was this one dog, I would say puppy, because he was only like a few months old. And then but it was slightly bigger compared to the puppies same age. So, and I for some reason I thought, I need to adopt this dog. I really want this dog like that. I was spending at least 2 to 3 weeks convincing my mother, one, show pictures, videos, everything I showed. Fail. So what I was doing was, every week I'll go, and that dog like remembers me, you know. Every time it sees me, you come, jump, and then I'll be playing with that dog and all that. So, but then, you know, finally someone adopted the dog, and it was a good experience lah. You know, at least I can't adopt also, at least I can spend time with the dogs every week and all that. So yeah, that was 2 experience which I can't forget lah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sister Yahnusha, when you usually call the Majlis Daerah people, right, what happens after that?
Okay, so I don't call. So this incident happened in my neighborhood area. So some Malays, they called MBSA. So I'm staying at Shala, and these people came, and they started capturing dogs in an aggressive way. They shoot. They just, take that rope, put in their, neck. They just drag them. So if I'm there at that spot, I'll try my best to bring all the pups. I'll bring them inside my house. I'll keep them for a while, or even in my neighbor's house. So they have one rules. If the dog is inside one compound, they cannot come inside and capture them. So you can do that, safety purpose lah. Other than that, if they already capture that dog, you can't do anything. But one thing, you can find some people who can bring them back home. But then you have to pay around 200 to 300, I think 400 something for one dog. So let's say there's 12 dogs or 30 dogs. So you have to imagine, Enzila, how much you have to pay. And normally when they come back, right, these dogs, their condition, it's very bad. They don't have food, they don't have water. They keep it in one small cage with so many dogs, like 10 dogs in one cage with no food, with no water. Imagine if there's one pregnant dog, that thing delivers there, puppies dies. everything, a lot of things happens. And my neighbor's dog was captured, and when they brought him back home, his eyes were swollen, very bad injury, a lot of cuts. So I feel like people should stop calling MBSA at any majlis daira, because these people, they don't bring this dog, they capture them, then they treat them well. No, that is like a myth. They bring them, it will die, or they'll make them poison them. They'll bring this dog to zoo, they'll give them food for the lions, tigers. So that's what's happening. That's the real truth. I mean, some people, they call this MBSA, MPK, because they think that, oh, these people gonna help us, they're gonna keep this dog safe. No, definitely not. You can call any shelters like Potterian, you can call us, Pitch and Floof. Maybe we can help something, we can do something. So that's the thing.
You actually saved about 5 to 6 puppies and kept them in your house until they were adopted, right?
Yeah.
How did you manage 5 to 6? Because having one at home, it is actually very exhausting. How do you do that?
Okay, I have 2 assistants. One is Joy, one is Lucky. They are 1 years old plus. So these 2 assistants, they will help me to take care of these 6 to 7 puppies. They don't let them outside. They will give them food. They will take care properly, you know. So it's easy for me. And they even taught where to poop, where to pee. So it was very easy for me. Other than that, vaccination. So I have to bring them in a box. Definitely cage is very small, right? So I'll bring them in a box, get them vaccinated. Then I'll keep them for a few weeks and I'll put them for adoption.
Nice. Okay. Next question. What do you think about zoo, Brother Harendra?
For me, zoo, okay, so never been to zoo, first of all. Never been to zoo. But I have heard like stories and all where they are being forced to, you know, because they are like attraction there, you know. So there's a bunch of people coming and looking at them and all. So, and I'm pretty sure first of all, it's not even their natural habitat also. And then, you know, I'm like animals like tigers, lion, obviously they don't like that much of attention, you know, every time, constantly at them. So I feel the idea of zoo is not really, of course for us it's fun, we can go see, just pay money a bit, we go and see, but then for them you have to think of them also, right? So I feel maybe they could find like some kind of other alternative, you know, like enforcing the rules, not for the forest deforestation and all that. So at least they can be in their natural habitat. So yeah, that's
You know, the shows they'll have, right, with dolphins and lions and all. I saw a message yesterday which really touched my heart. It said, after the show, you can go back, but they can't. That really touched my heart, because we can just leave, right? We even throw rubbish before we leave. So I think they are there in the rain, in whatever condition that is, they are still there. But we have our shelter. They don't have the original shelter, right? So, Sister Yahnusha,
What is it?
what do you think about zoos?
Oh, okay. From my point of view, I feel like they are abusing them. Okay, just imagine yourself in a cage, in a small space, just alone, sitting there. They have their own timing, giving you food, and everyone is looking at you. Will
Claustrophobic.
you feel, yes. Will you feel comfortable? No. Do you have space? No. And also lions, tigers, cheetah, they should be living in a big forest, not in a small cage. They need their own space. They have their health conditions also. Day by day, their health condition might be worse, might be getting worse.
Yes, I think they also need their space as much as we want our space, right? We tell our parents, don't come to my room, I want my space.
Yes.
So do they, right? Okay, and is there anything you would like to tell all the people who are listening here about strays, about pets, anything that you feel may make a small difference to the world that is changing today? Anyone can start.
okay. So I would like to say, I mean, if you are interested in, having a pet, instead of going buying for 2,000 ringgit, 3,000 ringgit breed dogs, I'm not saying they don't deserve a home. Yes, they do. But why not consider the dogs which you can adopt, So yeah, you can always come and visit us every Sunday at our adoption drive at CIMB Kota Kemuning. We have like at least 1 week around like 12 to 13 puppies. Our adoption fee is only 55 ringgit, and you all have to fill up a form, and that's about it. So yeah, I will adopt, don't shop. Yeah.
And that is for Potarian, who has more than 7,000 followers on Instagram. Okay, next is Yahnusha.
Okay, so I basically don't support breeding puppies, breeders, that's what they call, meaning like, huskies, golden retriever, they are breeding puppies, right? Breeders, right? So I don't support, because, it's a very painful process. They forcefully made these two dogs, and this mother has to carry puppies. Once she's already conceived it, they just on the spot take it and keep it aside. They don't let the puppies to mingle with the mother. They'll bring it away. So what happens to that mother? Breast can get swollen. Health issues will get bad. Anything can happen. Trauma. There's a trauma. Dogs can get trauma also, right? So I don't support breeders. And if you are seeing right now, please, from my heart, try your best to adopt puppies. Maybe you can buy some breeding dogs later on. Adopt puppies first. The reason why I'm saying is there's a lot of puppies outside. They need home. Breeders, they're getting money. So you have to consider from that. And I'm looking forward for all the youngsters to join this team, our team, Puch and Fluff, to continue rescuing all these puppies, give them food, even a small thing, just give them food and water, that's enough for them. And also follow our account at Puch and Fluff. Thank you.
Yeah. Can I add another thing? So like Yahnusha was saying, so why not, if you all can't adopt, you can always volunteer, and if you can't volunteer, you can always donate also. There's so many ways where you can contribute. So yes, that's what I want to say.
As important as donating blood is, contributing to puppies and strays who can't speak is equally important. So moving on, is there any funny story with those strays? Funny stories that if you think about now, you still laugh, because I have many. Like my dog, he will jump on the kitchen counter when no one is there. And if someone walks into the kitchen, he will look at us and he will get down. Because he knows he isn't allowed to do that. But he just wants to try his luck. He does that all the time. But there is one thing he doesn't do. He doesn't eat off the table. There is one thing he doesn't do. But he will constantly bark, constantly whine until we give him food. So that doesn't stop feeling funny. Even until now, it's like, okay, we eat now means Ram will come. So that constant thought is there. It's like he's another family member, right? I think those funny elements of puppies and dogs are what makes us love them as much as they love us. Maybe not as much as they love us, but at least because their love is literally unconditional, right? So what are those kind of funny moments, Brother Harendra?
Funny moments. Okay, I would like to share this one. So this one is my cousin's dog. What this dog will do, he will usually, so the snacks, right? He will be inside the drawer. What he will do is he will go and open the drawer, like literally open the drawer, tear apart the snacks, eat everything, and somehow manage to put back the packet inside the drawer and
Okay.
no idea how it happens. And this dog is also So ever since the puppy was like in the aircon, right? So it's a aircon child. So every time they know when it's hot, they'll like go and lie down on the bed lah, all that. So yeah, those are some moments also lah.
My dog will bark if it is hot outside. He'll bark to come in because inside the aircon is always on. And in my room, it is on basically 24 hours. So it's like, if I close the door, he'll wait outside and bark and bark and bark. When I open, he'll come and sleep inside. So he just wants to sleep in the cold air. So, Sister Yahnusha.
Okay, I have a cat. So I have a cat, and this cat, he loves to sleep in bed, So I wanted to buy him one, the small cat pillow thing. And when I bought it, I gave it to him. He didn't sleep on it. But guess what? If there's any cardboard, if there's any box, he loves to sleep on it or not in bed. That's like one of the funniest things, because we bought, I think it costs around 50 ringgit, but he doesn't want that. But he wants that, just one cardboard or one box. He loves that. And second incident, funny incident, I would say my dogs, Lucky and Joy. Okay, whenever we are not around, right, they'll sneak into my house, my room, or not, they'll go to kitchen. The first thing that they'll do, they'll see if there's any cat food. They'll go there, eat that quickly, then they'll run. So that's like the funniest moment so far.
My dog, right, Ram, he knows all the commands. No, sit, stay, down, everything he knows. But it's just if he wants to listen to you or not. You'll call him, he will look at you one time. If he knows you're just calling him for fun, he won't look at you no matter how many times you call him. But if you have food in your hand, anything he will listen. You say sit down, you say lie down, anything he will listen just for the food. Like I mean, sometimes, right, he behaves like you're not feeding him enough. I think that's what all dogs do, right? They just want to keep eating. This became a TikTok trend. Like he treats it like I don't feed him, right? So I think those little funny moments are what makes us forget the naughty things they will do. They dig up sand, they go and put themselves into the sand. They poop everywhere, they eat everything. He eats musks. Ram loves to eat musks. Like if he's quiet, right, we know, okay, Ram eating musk, so we have to go and see. And he will be eating musk only in one green carpet. He doesn't eat it anywhere else. He will eat the whole musk and he will actually leave the metal out alone. You know the metal in your mask? He will leave that out alone. He does that all the time. So I think those tiny things are what makes them very special to us. So is there any other things you would like to tell people or remind people or ask me? Any other things?
No,
Anything, Yahnusha?
Okay. Anyone, children's, parents. I mean, parents, they are doing a big role to these children. Whenever you see any strays, try your best to feed at least something. Just buy them one bun, roti canai from mama shop, anything. You can just feed them. They will eat for sure. Even if they don't, when you go back home, they will eat for sure. That's all.
And it is also very, very important to know food that dogs cannot eat.
True.
I think people should learn that. Yeah. Not only dogs, but any stray you would like to help, right? Google it. And before you feed them, if they can eat it or not. That's what.
Know your pet. Because,
what we did.
One thing everyone forgets, that chocolate is very harmful for dogs and cats. Even a small piece of chocolate is harmful.
Yeah, we literally used to Google everything before we fed him when he was new. So, thank you, both of you, for being here today, for taking the time.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you all for watching our second episode. This is Bhavadharni signing off from Chai with Sai.